Good Tuesday evening. It's a special Tuesday. I already told the gentleman Jack what Tuesday it was. It was the 3rd of September. It's the only day we
Yes.
can do that. So if you haven't already, go check on Dennis because today is the day his daddy died. Rest in peace to Dennis Edwards, though. All jokes aside. Welcome to another edition of the Tuesday Night Flight with the gentleman Jack
Hey,
and myself, the big guy KG. Jack, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
Oh, Jack, I gave it away, man. That was supposed to say Tuesday Night Flight, but I gave it away. But uh, I'm here, man. I'm energized. I'm ready to get it going, and I'm just I got beef tonight, so I will say
I
that.
heard you got beef. I heard.
Sam checking in. KG and gentleman Jack, what's going on, Sam? How you feeling? Glad you could be here.
Hey, Sam, thanks for joining.
We are essentially a two-man power trip. The Midnight Ride and the Boss BJ are both on special assignment tonight. My particular backdrop, the skyline of DC. You know, Tuesday Night Flight is such a smooth trip with that intro, man. I was like, you got to be smooth, and the weather's starting to cool down. So, Jack, you know what I'm talking about. If this is a Sunday night, you be down Haynes Point after you done waxed your car and everything, and you down there with looking like a car show. So this is that type of night.
Summertime hangout looks like a car show.
Man, let's jump off in this thing. I'm gonna go ahead. It's got to be done because certain things just shouldn't happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado. Once again, I'm here with my beef, and my beef is once again with Jason Shitlock. He came out with a video talking about things need to be looked at with the Chicago Sky, Teresa Weatherspoon, Kennedy Carter, Angel Reese, because a player named Marina Mabrey, who's a pretty good player, she's been in the league quite some time, but she asked for a trade after the Olympic break because of racism and ghetto-ness is what he called it. And I don't know who his source is because that's the first I've heard of anything of the sort coming out of Chicago. I'll say this. The way Jason Whitlock describes people that look like him, if you don't know, Jason Whitlock is a black man. But the way he describes people that look like him, when there's no cause for you to do that, for you to call a bunch of women ghetto, especially a legend like Teresa Weatherspoon, New York Liberty legend, balling legend, ghetto-ness, if that's how you can describe black women, ghetto-ness. And I don't know, I don't know who his source is, but I have not heard anything. And I try to follow everything that comes out of the WNBA. But for you to say that and say that this young lady wanted out of Chicago because they were racist towards her. But let me back up, because my beef is not only with him, my beef is also with Stephen A. Smith. Because you two clowns like to stir the goddamn pot a lot. We can't sit back and we can't enjoy the WNBA without you turning it into something that it's not. You want to praise Angel Reese, then you want to demean her. You want to praise Caitlin Clark, then you want to demean her. Man, won't you leave them young ladies alone? If you can't enjoy the game for what it is, does Caitlin Clark get fouled? Yes, she does. But I don't know, not near hot shot rookie that don't get welcomed to the league by the vets. It's been going on since the beginning of organized play. And I've heard plenty of players say, yeah, she is that damn good. And Caitlin Clark is that damn good. She's a monster. And I think she'll win Rookie of the Year. Then on the other hand, you have Angel Reese. And everybody wants to demean her. I've heard her called a thug. I've heard her called ghetto. Man, a lot of that comes out of Jason Whitlock's mouth. Jason Whitlock wouldn't know what a thug is if it punched him in the face. He wouldn't know what ghetto is if we dropped him in the middle of one. Okay? You keep stirring this pot, and all you're doing is letting your cronies know, and quote, I mean, for lack of a better term, you just sending out a dog whistle, man. Let these ladies play. Let them build their own legacy. It's going to get rough. It's going to get chippy. That's what that WNBA has been missing for years, that roughness, that chippiness, that whole rivalry thing. I said it before they were even drafted. I said Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are going to set this league up on its feet because they're going to have the rivalry going on from college. They're going to have the roughness of the new era of basketball players, and it's needed in the WNBA. And by God, numbers are up. Deals are up. Shut the fuck up and let's ride this wave, man. I cannot sit back any longer and allow good people to be torn down by shit people. Because when you need to stand up and say something, Jason Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith, and a couple of other people that's in the media, y'all always quiet. You're quiet. But when you want to make something out of nothing, y'all do this. That's all y'all do is talk. Talk. Y'all just talking heads right now. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. Let these young ladies ball. That's what they supposed to do. Let them ball. I'm done on that topic. Jack, you got any rebuttal?
Well, Mr. Whitlock does tend to stir the soup. I'm not a fan of his. I try not to listen to much he has to say. But unless he was in that locker room and he has proof, that, and first of all, how do you decide what's proof on what's ghetto activity or acting ghetto and thuggish? Each person's definition could be miles apart. You know what I'm saying? So unless I was in that locker room to see it, I don't believe it went on. Do I believe it goes on? Yeah, it goes on in life all the time, but I don't know if that's what's going on right now. Let's follow this throughout the season because I'm sure it's going to be a little bit of a story now. And maybe we'll get some girls that'll come out and say, yeah, that's right. Or we'll get some girls that'll come out and back Reese and the rest of her teammates. So I'm not going to go too far into it because it's Whitlock. Mute.
The mute button beat me. I can hear the boss BJ saying it now. Wherever he's at on special assignment, he's saying, why are you letting that dude get under your skin, man?
Yes, he is saying that. That's BJ.
Sam chiming in. It's not ghetto. It's swag, confidence, culture. But I doubt she did anything unprofessional on or off the court. That's the thing. And not only is it Jason Whitlock, Rob Parker. I had a beef with Rob Parker from what he said about RG3. When he said that RG3 wasn't a real brother. He wasn't a black guy. He's a cornball. I've had a beef with Rob Parker since then. And I'm like, it's crazy of you to tell another black man he's not black enough for you. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. All right. But I'll say this. Let these ladies play. Let them do their thing. Sit back and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spectacle that we call basketball. Because the ladies, they're taking us through the summer. And I can't wait for the playoffs. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the playoffs because that's when it's going to be on TV more. So I don't have to search around to find it. I can just be, boom, I can watch the playoffs. So sticking with the WNBA. We got two legends bickering. Nancy Lieberman and Cheryl Swoops. The boss BJ sent over a USA Today article from the day about Cheryl Swoops. Well, Nancy Lieberman said on Stephen A. Smith's show that she would be fine without Cheryl Swoops. And Cheryl Swoops came back on X and said she'd be fine without her and him, meaning Stephen A. Smith. And it just turned into something unnecessary because a lot of people don't like that Cheryl Swoops doesn't praise Caitlin Clark like everybody else does. And that's her opinion. That's her right. She has her right to do that. She got her own podcast. You can do what you want on your own podcast. If Jack wanted to stand on his head right now and do whatever he wanted to do, he could do that. He has free reign to do that. This is his show. If I wanted to, tell you what the oldest ride in the park was and what has the longest line, I could do that. This is my show. You can't be mad at what people say on their shows, but it seems to all have started because Nancy Lieberman corrected Cheryl Swoops about a stat with Caitlin Clark, and then all of a sudden it was a blow up. I don't know if it was some underlying issue there.
Well, they're supposed to be tight.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'm good without you. You good without me. Let's be free. As friends, I don't think we should be mad when your friend corrects you in private. Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should be mad if your friend corrects you in public. I mean, these are my friends. I mean, now it's different when you're in a relationship and you're married. Of course, you never correct your spouse in public in front of anybody. You correct your spouse behind closed doors. Hey, baby, you a little wrong. You show solidarity in front of everybody, but you come behind, hey, baby, that was a little wrong. We got to chill with that. But when it comes to friendship, especially when you are on TV and you're talking, I don't see any problem with correcting. Hey, you made a mistake on this one because she didn't have that. Oh, damn, for real? All right, I'll bring that back. I messed up. I don't know how many times I've been corrected on the show about something, whether on air or off air. Like, come on, man. And Cheryl Swoops, 4-time champion. Nancy Lieberman. If I'm not mistaken, Nancy Lieberman was drafted in the NBA at one point in time, wasn't she? I know she played in the NBA. She played in the preseason game, if I'm not mistaken.
What was that? I'm sorry. Nancy
Lieberman played in the NBA. I think she played. I know she played. She was a Harlem Globetrotter.
Exhibition. I'm gonna say she did an exhibition game or something. Fundraiser, maybe. I don't know.
I know she played with the men before. And of course, she played in the WNBA. She only played the 97 season. Then she went to coaching. But she all around baller. And it's crazy that these two are butting heads like this. It's unnecessary. It really is. And I don't understand why Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese bring out the worst in people when they discuss them. You can't have a discussion where you can praise both of them, but it seems like you got to tear one down to elevate the other. And I'm like, that's not even cool. You can appreciate both. You really can.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And a lot that aren't appreciating them both are just being a hater on one side or another. In my opinion, man, you can grab you a big old glass, pour all the haterade you want. The kids are balling. The young ladies are balling, both sides. And like you say, it's going to be a rivalry for here to come. I mean, I kind of put it right there with Magic and Bird rivalry, man, of the WNBA. So, here we are, 2024. We got some flashbacks on something from 78, 79.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. And I don't understand why more sports fans, WNBA fans can't like it too as it is instead of taking sides. I ain't taking sides. I like a lot of things about both of them's games.
I like what you said, Magic and Bird. I that's where I'm at. I said the same. I said this got the potential to be that. And the scene, Magic and Bird didn't get along early on.
Mm-mm.
They didn't get.
Nah, they didn't get along until they retired. Damn near.
Yeah, well, what was it? It was when they shot the Converse commercial.
Yeah,
that's when they and Larry Bird's mom was she was a big Magic Johnson fan. That was her favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
So if it takes that, great. But here's the thing: we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. These girls can have a dialogue every day, and they can have a PR team. Hey, we need to make it look like y'all are butting heads on a regular basis because that's where the money is. If we keep doing that, we're good.
Yeah.
Controversy creates cash. Sam said, shaking my head reminds me of the Fresh Prince from the frat. Didn't think Carlton was the right material. We're running the same race. Why are you trying to trip me up? Yep. That's Jason Whitlock and Rob Parker and Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, we all running the same race, but you trying to trip me up. That's exactly what it is. And more like Joe Dumars and Michael Jordan. Well, Joe Dumars and Michael Jordan got along. And for a certain amount of time, Isaiah and Mike got along too. I don't know what happened later on, but
Dumars must have played golf.
No, Dumars said, I never tried to talk trash to Michael. He said he never tried to talk trash to me. I just never really said much. Dumars is a quiet one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Reggie Miller said it. Reggie Miller said when he was a rookie, he was getting ready to blow by Joe Dumars, and Joe Dumars like, don't do it, Reg. Stay out here and just shoot jumpers. He said, why? He said, look behind me. You want to go in there with them? Stay right here. He said, I'll give you the jumper. Just don't go by. You go by him. You got Mahorn. You got Sally. You got James Edwards, Lambeer. Yeah, I'm not going by. I'm going to settle for these jumpers.
Mm.
So, Jack, talk to me about the U.S. Open, man. What you got for me?
Well, United States men are starting to make a little rebound. They've been out of the mix for several years now. The making it to the quarters and the semis. Well, today, Francis Tiafoe just punched his ticket to the semifinals, and we got a possibility of Taylor Fritz, who's playing. Taylor Fritz is playing tomorrow to try to get his ticket out of the quarters into the semis. And I just think it's awesome to see U.S. tennis making a comeback, because I remember back in the days having Jimmy Connors, Johnny Mack. Them two were always in the thick and thin of it. And on the women's side, you had them on, you had the Chrissy Everetts and all that. So, you had the Williams sisters. They kept things up for the women's side, but there had been a pause in success on the men's side since back then, Francis Tiafoe. Keep on saying it correctly because it's a little difficult to pronounce the way it's spelled. It's Francis Tiafoe, actually from my hometown, Riverdale, Maryland. So I'm looking to see some big things out of these young guns in the next 5 years. If not this weekend, they're doing well at the U.S. Open. Some of the big names in the men's side have already been knocked off. So, yeah, go USA, man.
Yeah, most definitely, always. I think early on, Coco Gauff got knocked off.
Yeah, she got knocked out pretty early. Alcaraz on the men's side, Djokovic, he got knocked out early. So the men's side is wide open for some young guns to come in. I like it. The number 4 seed was just beat today by Taylor Fritz. I'm sorry, Taylor Fritz actually is qualified for the semis. Francis Tiafoe plays tomorrow night.
8:30. Or was that tonight at 8? No, tonight at 8:30.
Was it tonight at 8:30? Yeah, I was asking about the date. So Taylor Fritz has qualified, excuse me. And he beat the number 4 ranked player. Fritz is currently ranked number 12. So just I was just happy to be running around the TV this evening and I saw some U.S. tennis on, man. So that's good to see the United States men continuing to grow.
Oh, I needed that. Now, let me ask you this: since we talking tennis, we don't have. let me use the famous phrase: Venus and Serena ain't walking through that door. Martina Navratilova is not walking through that door. But if you had to choose on the women's side, is there a number one dominant player on the women's side, or is it just like it's just a field of them where it's like any one of them can take it?
Yeah, I think it's open too. It's not dominant as much as it used to be by the way, and by Serena. I can't think of a woman that's dominant right now. But I'm not your top dog tennis fan to be able to go on that. That's just from me watching the little bit I've watched this past week. But Coco Gauff is right up there in the top 5. But she, like I say, she's out now, so I'm not sure what kind of threats we got coming up. If there's I'm serious. I don't even know. Somebody might be able to chime in. There might be someone that is dominating women tennis right now, but I'm unaware of it. I don't seem to have, heard, especially, like I said, the way Venus Williams dominated the women's side and others before her, Steffi Graf, Chris Evert. They were doing very good in the sport during their time. So we have to look into that.
Yeah. Moving forward, come Thursday, man, we gonna cut. Next show we come back on. We got football, man.
Yeah, we do.
We got football, and I'm looking over at it. We got football on Thursday, Friday, then we come back on Sunday. You open up with the Ravens and the Chiefs, and I don't know. The way I'm looking at it, Jack, we ain't gonna have a whole lot of time on Thursday.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to get 2 games, I say we look at this Chiefs Ravens game tonight, and we break it down tonight.
Okay.
Of course, Chiefs, Super Bowl champions. Of course, Super Bowl champion always plays first game of the season on a Thursday night. They open the season. The Ravens. The Ravens are next year's bride. I think that's the best way to describe the Ravens as of late. Because like every year you think they got a chance, and then all of a sudden they fall off. Either they fall in the playoffs, or they fall at the end of the season. So you got 2 top quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, and on the other side, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Patty, no look.
Now, if you had to take a quarterback to start a team, why are you taking Patrick Mahomes and why? Because everybody's gonna take Patrick Mahomes. Me, I'm taking Lamar Jackson.
Patrick Mahomes sees the field so well, very accurate, great floor general. I mean, he leads that offense. He leads that team. What can you nitpick about Patrick Mahomes' game?
I don't know. I would say he's not consistent, but you can't even say that.
5. Going for the 3-peat.
Yep. And looking at the team that they field, you got Patrick Mahomes a quarterback, you got Pacheco coming back. They added Samaje Perine. You have Marquise Brown, Mecole Hardman. I don't know, is Rashee Rice going to play this year?
I haven't heard no update on him.
I know he's supposed to be on the commissioner's list, and I'm not sure if he's playing.
Right.
They got Juju Smith-Schuster, which really don't mean nothing. Justin Watson and Xavier Worthy. Of course, you got Travis Kelce coming back. This offense is stacked. And I think their X factor is going to be their run game. Do you think Kansas City going to have a real run game this year, or they're going to go running back by committee once again and see if it's successful?
I don't feel Pachenko did bad last year. I think he's quite a scrappy little running back. And we all know what Pirine has. I think he's another scrappy little running back. I think that's why they picked him up, because he's much like Pachenko.
Mm-hmm.
Them running backs, if it is sharing time, it is. But they do what it needs to be done in that Kansas City offense, in my opinion. So their running backs are fine.
Now, on the flip side, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, like I said before, you got you got Lamar Jackson coming back. But they also, now here's the problem. They have not had, when the last time Baltimore had really good running backs? Like where they had a really, really good run game.
Ray Rice?
Yeah. How long ago was that?
I forgot about him. Well,
they got Derrick Henry to add to Justice Hill and Rasheen Ali. Are we going to get an old Derrick Henry, or are we going to get the old Derrick Henry?
If they get the old Derrick Henry, man, that's a plus for the Ravens right there. Trying to pay attention to the quarterback and the running back to see which one of them has the ball when you got a guy as dangerous as Lamar Jackson back there. Mm-hmm. So, you might already lose a step on Henry, once you figure out who's got the ball. And old Derrick Henry, you don't want to do that. You're going to turn that corner and run some people over. So, I like Derrick Henry. I've seen many great Derrick Henry highlights throughout his career. And, I don't wish him no ill will. I want to see him play good. If he plays anywhere close to old Derrick Henry, it's going to help the Baltimore Ravens tremendously. But Jackson needs to get – I'm not going to say needs to get, but Jackson has to be more accurate on his passes, more known when he's going to pass. I know all these teams want to try and rein in their running back after a few years. Well, hey, that's the kind of quarterback. That's the kind of quarterback he is. Why you rein him in now, man? I mean, if he was going to get hurt, he was going to get hurt. And the way I said, you get hurt when you play scared, or play with a reason of trying to protect yourself. Let the guys play. And I think that's when you can get your most dominant Lamar Jackson. And I think we've seen that in the playoffs last year, let alone from a great day of watching film. Who was that beat the Ravens in the playoffs? Kansas City, wasn't it?
I believe it was Kansas City.
It was a good game prep. There you go. They prepared for Lamar Jackson the best you could. And then you see him trying to scramble, but he's like, oops, I'm not supposed to scramble because my coach is trying to slow me down, and they get sacked. So they let him just live by the seat of his pants. Play off instinct. Don't play off, I remember. Play off instinct. Lamar Jackson's a dangerous SOB. So I hope this is going to be a good game. And, he's got Andrews is back healthy.
Yep.
Some of the receivers the Ravens got.
Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman, Dante Hardy, Devontae Walker, and Tylan Wallace.
Yeah.
And then Isaiah Likely at tight end as well.
Mm-hmm. Aguilar and Flowers. I think them two can do some good damage. I like Flowers. Flowers can get up and get it. Flowers can get down the field. It sounds like it's going to be, Chiefs, Ravens. That's barn burner. I hope it's a good one, man. Really, really, really. Opening game, too.
Yep. Now, we did that. When we come back on Thursday, we'll be able to look at the Friday game. And if you haven't already, if you haven't joined the ESPN Pigskin Pick'em, please do so. And we put our own together. If you need the link, let me know. I'll put it in the group. I'll put it where it needs to be. Matter of fact, let me see. Hold on. I got you. Let me pull it up right now. That way I can put it in the comments and you can say, hey, there it is. And you'll know that you're picking against the best now. Because one thing that the sideline junkies don't mess around with is picking games. We don't play around. We pick these games and we really roll with it. If you can't keep up, I feel sorry for you.
We don't do no overtime and we don't play around.
Not at all. That's it. But let me put the link in. Let me do it another way so I can put the link in for everybody. Everybody
Get in. Let's do it.
We coming up on a few things. This wasn't intended to be a really, really long show because football is back and we more concerned with football right now. So the Midnight Rider decided to come through. Even though he's not here, he decided to come through with the list. I got to do this in true Midnight Rider fashion. Okay.
Well, number 5.
Here we go. Top 5 college quarterbacks after week 1. Number 5, Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. He didn't give me no explanation why he came to this thought process, so I had to get him to explain on Thursday. Number 4, Nico Iamaleava out of Tennessee. Number 3, Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon. Number 2, Carson Beck out of the University of Georgia. And number 1, Quinn Ewers out of the University of Texas. So, for the list, you have Quinn Ewers at 1, Carson Beck at 2, Dylan Gabriel at 3, Nico Iamaleava, I'll have that better by next week, from Tennessee, and Shedeur Sanders at 5. So that is the list from the Midnight Rider.
Yeah, be sure Jess whose list.
Because with Jack, I mean, if you got 5 quarterbacks, I mean,
my list didn't change from some of the teams playing. Not everybody played yet. My boy Jackson Dart at Ole Miss hasn't played yet. My list was Carson Beck, number 1, Quinn Ewers, number 2, Shedeur Sanders, number 3, who had a hell of a game against South Dakota State. Man, I tell you, I've been hot on Sanders since he was over at Jacksonville State with his dad. Wasn't it Jacksonville State?
Jackson State. Yeah.
Jackson State University.
Yeah.
I thought he looked hot over there, and now he's got another 1.5 years, 2 years under his belt. I tell you, man, I think he's going to be the best NFL-ready quarterback come into this year. He just got to keep him on his feet. Yeah. Last year, that was a problem. But this year, I think they got a little better line. I'm sure that transfer portal was good in bringing some linemen over to Colorado. I believe they're one of the biggest transfer portal highway schools in the country. I ain't hating. If you want out with the old and bring in the new, that's the way you do it nowadays. There's teams like Clemson University, my man Darbo Sweeney, they are not using transfer portal over there, and it's starting to show. That loss to Georgia the other day, I mean, the defense held their own long as they could. I believe it was 6-0, 3-0, something like that going into halftime. And then finally Bowers got on a roll and just started picking that defense apart. They have not had a transfer at Clemson football program since 2018. I thought that stat it blew my mind. Wow. It blew my mind. And, even the legendary NCAA basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski, had to finally go into one and done, even knowing him and Calipari and all them. Not Calipari. Calipari invented it.
Yeah, Calipari invented one and done.
And Bobby Bowden, other guys like that, they all were against it. And then seeing it, Bowden went ahead and just dipped. Coach K put in a few more years and got them one and dones, and, continued success at Duke. But you got to keep up with the times no matter what game you're working with, what job you're doing. You got to keep up with the times. So I feel that Clemson's taking a step back, and it shows. It shows in the past couple of years. They're not the dominant program they were.
Right. Same thing with Alabama. I don't think Alabama. I mean, to be quite honest, Alabama is not dominant anymore because there's no Saban, and that's crazy to me. Because Saban, he couldn't do it in the NFL, but he damn sure could do it in college football.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he stacked and layered talent at Alabama, because somebody would leave and go to the draft, and then there's somebody ready to step in right behind him, and it's like, all right, what we doing here? Let's go.
Mm-hmm. No, next man up.
It was a factory at Alabama. They were just churning out players to the NFL. I mean, most of them play in Washington anyway, but they were just churning out players.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continue. Please continue.
No, I was gonna say I wish Notre Dame could churn out players like that again.
It's gonna be coming over there at Notre Dame. It just took them a while to get up from the bottom of the barrel. Notre Dame football is back, I believe. I saw that was a nice game they played the other day. We was on my number 3 quarterback, which was Sanders, and 2 other highlights to that Colorado football game last week was Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter. They were just going all out on the field. One of them 7 receptions, 198 yards. The other boy had 7 receptions, 132 with 3 touchdowns. That's Shedeur Sanders throwing the ball around. I want to say he had 7 receivers multiple times. If that ain't reading the field, I don't know what is. I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the best pro-ready quarterback come draft next year.
I'm gonna hold you to that. Matter of fact, let me write that down because
sure.
Let me ask you a question.
Write it in pen.
Will you give that the Blue Magic guarantee?
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
I'm telling you, I think he's going to be above Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers. I do. And then you got that quarterback down there at Ole Miss that I was talking about. I like Jackson Dart. He can throw a hell of a long ball, and he's a threat running the ball too. He's nice. And then at number 5, I had Jalen Daniels. No, I did not say Jaden Daniels. I said Jalen Daniels. Jalon. He's over there. He got to stay healthy, though. He's over there at Kansas. He can throw the ball well, too, but he's just had some injuries in these past couple of years, is why probably a lot of people don't know about Jalen. Daniels. Kansas.
Okay.
Kansas not a phenomenally dominant football school. Usually hear about Kansas in basketball.
Right.
But they've been playing good ball the past 2-3 years, what I've been seeing. I've been following them a little bit.
I guess I had to get him a look. Give him a look, see. And
that team that Colorado plays, South Dakota State, I believe it's their first year up here in D1. They're not no jokes. They're not, they're not scrubs. They've won the the D2, D3 national championship 4 or 5 times in the last 10 years. Them and who were they? They were South Dakota State. So North Dakota State, South Dakota State seemed to have dominated that. So I'm glad they got moved up. They needed to get moved up. Just like JMU, they deserved it. They got a solid program. I thought they looked good the other day. So, yeah, football is here. I don't care which kind it is.
You got college and already started. NFL kicks off officially in 2 days. And then, I don't know. The first weekend of NFL football, especially that first Sunday, I'd be so overloaded. I can't go to work on Monday. I can't go to work Monday because I'm too tired because I've tried to watch every game because it's like old school. It's like going to Horn and Horn out there on 450 and you're trying to just get as much as you can to eat before it's time to go.
Horn and Horn.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Man.
Well, I guess we come to it. I mean, this is record time. I mean, the boss BJ will be happy about this one. Hey, we did it in under 45, baby. Didn't have a whole lot tonight. Hey, it is what it is. It happens like this, but we still got to push the content. We still want to come here and do it for you, the viewer, the listener. And that's what we do it for. So, be back on Thursday, 7:30 on Thursday. We're starting early, 7:30 on Thursday, because we got to get in and get out because we got football to watch. So 7:30 on Thursday. Make sure you tune in. If I'm not mistaken, I think the boss BJ will be back. I think that's his last Thursday. No. He starts Tuesdays and Thursdays starting next week. So the boss BJ will be back on Thursday. Midnight Rider should be back. Of course, the gentleman Jack Carr and myself will be here. So all we need is you to be here on Thursday. A couple of comments before we get out of here. The Midnight Rider said the women's side in tennis is wide open.
I thought so.
And he says Notre Dame will continue to struggle because they can't develop QBs. Sometimes the truth hurts. I just want to let you know that. But
from a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I let y'all know Jack Wagner's a Notre Dame fan too.
Really? So that's the Midnight Rider. That's Rose, the gentleman Jack, and myself. Oh, we about to take over the airways. We ain't talking Notre Dame football. That here 24/7. That's all we need right there.
Notre Dame football.
Hey.
Yeah. Y'all sit in the corner and watch Rudy 5-6 times. You be all right.
Hey, look. One of my favorite movies. I ain't gonna lie. Even though it's not true, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I might even watch it the night before I go to bed. I got time. So make sure you here on Thursday, 7:30, so you can see the gentleman Jack, see the big guy KG, the boss BJ, the Midnight Rider, whoever else we decide to bring in. Let's get it going because we got Thursday night football coming up on Thursday. So until then, we don't do no overtime, baby. We are out of here.